It is said, can you hear me at the back, please? All right, perfect. It is said that some of the most humorous things in life comes out of the most boring or the most saddest things. You believe in it? I believe in it. And when I was choosing a subject for my humorous speech, there were only two criteria that fitted this bill, at least in my case. One, my marriage, and the second, my work. Contestant chair, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests, a very good morning to you all. I'm going to share my experience I've had as a project manager since the last 1 year. Yes, I don't look like a project manager. I don't have the project manager belly. My hair is still intact. No loss of hair. I don't wear specs. But the only trait that I'm carrying today is the fact that I'm wearing formals on a Sunday morning. The only guy who beat it is Mr. Abhiram, who fits the bill, and he's a notch higher. He's wearing a tie as well. I'm going to share 3 areas. I'm going to talk about estimations and planning. This is very core of project management. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to talk about meetings. How do you conduct meetings? And number 3 is about leadership. Abhiram, again, you spoke to it. Thanks for the reference you already gave. Let's start with the first one, estimations. When I first started off this role, I was scared. I was literally scared about estimation. I said, how do you do estimation? It was something close to astrology. I mean, you're telling somebody who's sitting thousands of miles away that your existing system is cracked, and I will give you a system which will give you ROI in 2015. I mean, this is astrology. I mean, what are we talking about? This is not done, man. This is absolutely nonsense. Then it became very simple. So here I was, my first day, in conversation with my architect, discussing about a particular requirement and trying to see how much time it takes. So, how much time do you think it will take? My architect. Well, with 15 years of experience under my belt, architects always mention this. I think it's going to take 16 to 20 days. Now, as a project manager, you should remember this. You should always show your authority no matter how experienced the other person is. I know you have 15 years experience. Tell me precisely how much it is going to take. 16 or 20? 18 days. Okay, fine. As soon as we are done, we are allowed to make a project plan out of it. The master of Humerous enters the room. You know what I mean by saying master of Humerous, right? Come on. The client comes in. Hey guys, you know what? We don't have the budgets. You guys need to finish it in 6 days. Nothing more. Can you guys do it? I look back at the phone. I think we can do it in 6 days. My architect. Well, with 15 years of experience under my belt, I think we can do it in 6 days. Let's do it. This is how we do it. The second is about meetings. Now, after attending 3,000 meetings in the last 7 years of my career, I understand there are 2 roles in a meeting which is very important, and you need to understand these roles. You need to identify these roles early on in every meeting. Role number 1, it's called the master of cribbers. These are the guys. In every meeting, you'll find one guy who's a cribber, who has been pushed into the meeting. Somebody said, boss, I can't attend. You go and attend the meeting, please. He doesn't want to take the action items. He's not cared what the agenda of the meeting is. He just comes into the meeting and wants to get out of it. How do you identify a cribber? The first thing you say, the first thing he enters the room and the first thing he says is, guys, I have a hard stop in the next 20 minutes. Hard stop. Are you a time bomb or something? Are you going to blow up on a 20 minutes? Where's this word come from? Master of cribbers. The second, how many of you are consultants, business analysts? Anybody business analyst? All right, you guys play this role perfectly. It's called the master of sleepers. And I play this role. I think once every day I play this role perfectly. You need to do only this. You need to dress up well. Make sure the color of your belt is matching the color of your shoe. Put some gel if possible. Alfred, you've done that perfectly. And then you get into the meeting, and all you do in the meeting is, yeah. And the moment somebody tries to ask a question to you, you just deflect it. How? So what do you think of this requirement? Well, I think it's perfectly fine. What do you think of this requirement? The sleepers, the Toastmasters, I guess. The last very important point is about leadership. Abhiram spoke about leadership. Abhiram, there's a tip from me as well to you. How do you influence people? You spoke about influencing is the most important part. But before influencing, there is one more aspect you have to do. How do you influence people? How do you make followers? You have to make people believe. You have to create a perception that everything good which is happening in their lives is happening because of you. All right? That's how you need followers. That's how you need followers. I'll give you an example. There's a guy who just reached his project manager with a box of sweets. He comes to me and said, "Sir, I want to share a good news. I got some sweets." "Yeah, what happened?" "Oh, sir, actually, my visa's got approved, sir." "Oh, yeah, I know. Actually, Chris already called me and told me." "Chris? Sir, who's Chris?" "Chris, the guy who sits in the consulate. I know him pretty well. He's a good friend of mine. I had already told him about you so that your visa gets approved." This guy, he's almost in tears. "Sir, you're God, sir. Because of you, I'm going to go to the US, sir. My family, my kids, my whole village is obliged to you. I don't know how I'm going to repay you back." That's how you could create perception. But you should always remember one thing, that sometimes these perceptions, don't overdo this. All right? You need to know the situation. If you overdo this, it can backfire. I'll give you an example. The other day, one of my team members came up to me with the same box of sweets. He said, "Sir, sweets." I said, "Yeah, I know, I did it bad." Come on." He looked at me with a very stern face. He said, "Sir, this is because the doctors confirmed that my wife is expecting." Okay, fine. So in the end, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I would end my speech by saying what my title was as well. Is that as a leader, Naveena, I think you would agree more than anybody else, is as a leader, you need to believe in one thing, that nothing is impossible. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's not you who's going to do it. Thank you.